Chris Burke here with Doug Farrar for SI.com, and this week we rolled out our best players in the Super Bowl era by jersey number. Some of the decisions a lot easier than others. I had 0 through 49 on that list, and 16 was Joe Montana, 20 Barry Sanders. Some easier ones, some tougher choices though, and I'll start, Doug, by asking you if I did all right at number 8, where I went with one Hall of Fame quarterback, Steve Young, over another, Troy Aikman.
I agree with that. My personal preference, in my opinion, John Elway is the best quarterback in NFL history. I would put Steve Young second. I think he's most certainly the best left-handed quarterback in history. This is a guy drafted in Tampa Bay, kind of flew around for a couple years, tried to get something done, mastered that West Coast offense, and through the 90s, it could have just as easily been him that won the 3 Super Bowls instead of Aikman. Aikman was obviously a great quarterback, but he had that great offensive line. I think Steve Young was the better and more versatile and more effective quarterback, especially when you put his running ability in there.
Yeah, that running ability, I think, is what set him over the top for me. Second one, down a little further on the list, number 40. And this one was really difficult for me. I went with Gale Sayers over Mike Alstott, 2 very different players. And Sayers' career, brilliant, but very short. Alstott had the longevity, sort of the fullback every coach wishes he had. Would you have gone Sayers or Alstott at number 40?
I would not have been so tied up. All due respect to the Bucks fans in our editorial office, I would not have been tied up about this at all. I mean, yes, Sayers had a very brief career, which was made briefer by that knee injury in the late 60s, but came back from that, ground out another 1,000-yard season. And at his peak, I think he may have been the most unstoppable offensive and special teams weapon in NFL history. To me, you're off the hook as far as I'm concerned, Chris. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, you just watch him. He was one of those electrifying athletes, sort of. If he hadn't gotten hurt, I don't think there would have been any question he would have been. He already is one of the best running backs in NFL history, but he would have been up there statistically with some of the other guys. Yep. And then my third one that I'll throw at you here, a little different debate because we're taking an offensive player and a current offensive player, a skill position player against a kicker. And I went with David Akers at number 2 over Matt Ryan. And your thoughts on that one?
What is your argument for Akers over Ryan?
Well, I went with Akers. I mean, you look at where Akers is all-time scoring-wise, and that was where the starting point for me. I mean, he's a top 15 guy points for the career, and I think Ryan's close. I just wasn't really sure. We're talking about greatest all-time. I don't know that either guy really falls under that category for me. I think it's probably neck and neck. You almost flip a coin. It really was just boiled down to what Akers did over the duration of his career, the number of points, the sheer volume of points that he put up.
I would give the edge to Ryan because I mean, it's like Aaron Brooks and Tim Couch, a bunch of kickers.
Right, it's not a great number.
But given the ascent that the Falcons had when they drafted Ryan, and obviously they brought in a bunch of other guys, I wouldn't say he is a top 5 quarterback in today's NFL. But kickers, to me, unless they're Jason Elam, and even you adjust Elam to altitude, or they're George Blanda, and they also played quarterback for a bunch of years. If I'm going to put a kicker over any quarterback of any renown, I need to know why he's more than a stat collector. So I'd probably go with Ryan on that one.
All right. There you have it. Some disagreement at the end there, as I expected it probably would come along. So for SI.com, Chris Burke along with Doug Farrar.